What is going on, everybody? Yvonne here. Now lately, I've been playing a ton of different landing pages, and honestly, they make a huge difference. If you guys got something that you're trying to sell or promote, a style of landing page can make all the difference. It can get you more link clicks, signups, and just better results overall. I personally use Leadpages to make my landing pages, and I just wanted to share how they work and what's been working for me. It's super beginner friendly, and once you get the hang of it, you can create really solid landing pages without touching a single line of code. So let's go ahead and get under the hood to see what Leadpages is all about. Now before we get started here, I am going to be sharing my screen, so if you do want to follow along or even try out the platform for yourself, there is going to be a link down below in the description for a free trial of the platform. Once you guys click on that link, go ahead and enter your guys' email and press start my free trial. And let's go ahead and sign up with our email. So enter in your guys' first and last name. Let's go ahead and select our password. Let's get started. We're going to add a credit card here, enter in your address and your credit card info. Awesome. Now we're ready to start our trial here. And it's going to ask you a couple basic questions. So how we heard about them. And then there are going to be some other questions, but we don't need to cover them in this tutorial. So let's go ahead and press skip. Alrighty. Now from here, in order to get kind of used to the platform, let's go ahead and select the exact template that we want to use. There's going to be some options right over here in front of us, but we can also explore more templates by clicking here, and boom, there's going to be a ton of different templates available for us. I personally like this Spark.ai one, so I'm going to go ahead and build on top of this one. We're going to name it test. Let's press continue, and boom, we're going to be ready to rock. Now, when it comes to landing pages, the biggest thing you got to ask yourself is, what kind of value am I bringing? Because look, there can be a million people on your guys' website. However, if you're not providing any type of value, why should they give their information to you guys, right? It's all about that potential value that you can give to your customer. So when it comes to building the actual landing page, really ask yourself, what value are we bringing here? And what Leadpages is helping you with is making the whole technical process a lot easier. Because look, back in the day, you had to custom code this whole thing, and that would just take so long. Now with Leadpages, the whole process is super snappy. Alrighty, now once we have signed up, here's what our user interface is going to look like. There's going to be a ton of different options here. On the left-hand side, we have layout, sections, widgets, style, settings, or writing assistant. Now essentially, Leadpages is entirely drag and drop. And as I mentioned before, you don't need to know how to code at all. So if we click on layout right over here, these are going to be the sections that are going to represent our entire landing page. So there's going to be our initial banner, the hero section, features, benefit 1, 2, 3, testimonials, FAQ, and we can see them as we scroll down. Now, if we want to modify a specific section, we can literally click on it, and then boom, we can change the wording here, how it's going to look like, font, the size, line spacing, break margin, different stuff like that. And in addition to that, what I personally like about Leadpages is the fact that they also have animations built into the platform. So if you guys see this right over here, click on the circle looking thing, you can select animation, and there's going to be a lot of different ones built into the platform. We can see a perfect sample right over here as this button is rating different colors. But again, if you guys do want to change something, you can go ahead, click on this little drag thing, drag it wherever you guys want it, and then boom, it's going to end up right over there. So essentially it works in like these little boxes. So there's going to be different columns and different sections. But if you guys want to add your own little box, go ahead and go to sections, scroll down here to see which ones you guys like. So this is going to be the about section, but you can also see the blank section right over here and just add the one that you like. So for example, if I want to have something that's going to be side by side, go ahead and drag it in here, and boom, it's going to be ready to rock. And for example, let's say if I want to take this text and move it to this box, all I got to do is drag it, move it, boom, ready to rock. But you guys get the point. The whole platform is super simple to use. So you can go ahead and customize it with the specific sections. But if you guys want to add something to it as well, you can go to widgets, and there's going to be options for text, image plus text, image, video, custom forms, buttons, icons, lines. There's a lot here, and we can always press on show more, as there's going to be a ton. Alrighty, now as you guys are modifying your landing page, remember, value is going to be king here. And behind any type of value, the person actually needs to interact with something. And usually in the marketing world, they interact with CTAs or click to action. And usually in the marketing world, they interact with CTAs or call to action. Now in this case, our CTAs are going to be our buttons. So our buttons in this case are going to say free for a limited time or sign up for free, X, Y, and Z, right? There's going to be a lot of different things we can select here. So you can actually modify on what happens when they click on that little button. Now there's going to be two avenues we can go from. So first, we can actually modify the pop-up that's going to appear after we click this button. So if we modify the click event, all we got to do is just press here, edit click event. And here, when someone presses on that button, you can either generate a pop-up that can be a Calendly, you can jump to a page section, you can link to another landing page, or you can link to an external URL. So now let's go ahead and edit that pop-up to see how it's going to look like. So press edit pop-up here, and boom, here's what it's going to look like when someone actually presses that button. And here's going to be another CTA where it says sign up free for a limited time. That's where they provide you an email address, press sign me up, and bam, ready to rock. Alrighty, now what does it mean here when it says edit integrations? So essentially, this is where we tell the system on where we want that data to go after the person has actually signed up and have gone through the whole process. So you can keep it internal, but what a lot of folks do is that they go ahead and tie other systems that they're using, and that way nothing slips through the cracks. So let me give you an example. You can have Leadpages act as your landing page, and then from there, it goes ahead and sends information to you guys' CRM. And that way, if you guys are working with a team, you'll have your universal source of truth. So let's go go ahead and see what integrations they have in store. So let's press on more services, and boom, these are going to be some native integrations that the platform offers. So there's going to be ActiveCampaign, which is a CRM and marketing platform, Constant Contact, ConvertKit, Drip, GoToWebinar, MailChimp. A lot of these are marketing platforms, and it makes sense because after the persons actually provide you guys with their information, we want to go ahead and nurture them, and that way they'll become customers in the future. So these are going to be the native ones, but if we scroll down, there's going to be other integrations. They're also powered by Zapier, and there's going to be a lot more here, ranging from Gmail to Follow Up Boss to HubSpot to Intercom, GoToWebinar, Flowdesk, Brevo, Pardot, Salesforce, you name it. There are a ton of them. And again, all of this is going to depend on how your business is actually structured, and this is going to be unique for every single business. So let's go ahead and exit out of this. And in this little pop-up, you can also modify the fields or the action on what's going to happen after. So the person can remain on the page. We could show them a default Leadpages thank you page, and it's going to look something like this. Boom, where it says thank you. And you can also modify it if you guys would like. You can bring them to another landing page or an external URL, right? So after they've actually filled it all out, press the little button and boom. So let's go ahead and save and close. But yeah, that's how you modify that pop-up. Now, as you guys are building your landing page, you got to make sure that it's going to be optimized for tablets, phones, and desktops. Honestly, I'd say that the mobile and the desktop are going to be the most important, and it's going to depend on what kind of customer you guys have. Because for example, if you guys are selling something direct to consumer, the mobile one is going to be king, because nowadays most folks, when they're selling direct to consumer, are selling via social media, TikTok, Instagram, stuff like that. So having it be optimized for mobile is going to be crucial. However, if you guys are selling something like B2B SaaS or a place where somebody's going to be there in desktop, make sure that it's going to be optimized for that. Again, you guys know your ideal customer better than I do, so make sure you do what's best for your business. But you can see how that landing page is going to look like for desktop, tablet, or mobile, all by clicking this blue button. So if we click on phone, here's how it's going to look like. We can scroll down and edit it accordingly. And as you can see right now, it kind of looks a little bit cramped, right? Not going to lie. So I would go ahead and edit it so it looks pretty clean. But you can also see how it's going to look like for tablet and then desktop. Desktop looks so much better, right? There's actually space here to breathe. Now, the other thing that you have to double check on is to make sure that you guys' landing page is going to be SEO friendly. And the way that we do that is by going to the settings right over here, and there's going to be the SEO option. So here we can go ahead and select the SEO page title. So test is probably not going to be a good one, and the more specific it is, the better it's going to be. And honestly, I would also not have it be too long, because that way you can have customers falling through the cracks. Then you can have your SEO page description, different keywords, and that way people can actually know about you. From there, I would also go to the analytics tab, and here go ahead and enter any type of tracking code from Google or the Facebook Pixel. So that way we're actively collecting information regarding your users, so we can go ahead and optimize for that. Alrighty, so here are the steps that we've covered so far. We have a clean looking landing page that delivers value. We've optimized your page for SEO and have added tracking codes to it, and we've added different types of integrations, and that way that data is not going to slip through the cracks. So what do we do from here? Now, before you press that publish button, I would go ahead and also look at this top little comment here where it says excellent or good or bad, because it's going to tell you guys exactly on how your landing page is looking like. So I didn't modify it too much. However, if I went ahead and just edited it and made it like look really, really bad, now I didn't change the page too much. That's probably why it's at the excellent level. However, if I went ahead and just added 100 different photos and just made all my titles like 100 different words, then the ranking is probably going to go down. And you can actually see exactly how it's creating you guys' landing page by clicking on it, pressing view all, and these are going to be the checks that the system has to pass. So there's going to be the layout, call to action, readability, opt-in form, and essentially it's a way for Leadpages to tell you guys how to improve your guys' landing page. And once you guys have done all that, make sure you preview your landing page, go ahead and press publish, and you'll be ready to rock. And when you go to the dashboard and click on landing pages, you can always see the stats when it comes to that specific landing page. So you can see the unique visitors you've had, different conversions, conversion rate, and earnings that you got from that specific landing page. Now, I personally didn't publish the page, but if you want to see specific analytics, you can also click on this right over here. And the cool thing that Leadpages allow you guys to do is actually A/B test you guys' landing pages against one another. So you can go ahead and create a new split test or create a new landing page, modify a couple things on there, and then put them head to head against one another. And that way, the page that's doing better, you can double down on, and the page that's not doing so hot, you can cut short. And there you have it, folks. As you guys just saw, we went from start to finish when it comes to different variables on Leadpages. From building a template to the actual testing itself, Leadpages give you guys pretty much everything you need to go from an idea to revenue. And as I mentioned before, if you guys do want to try out the platform for yourself, there is going to be a link down below in the description. And if you guys found this video helpful, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this, as it tremendously helps support the channel. Till next time, peace.